This conference will now be recorded.
Save. Okay. So OBJ save method is used to insert or update the records into table, and after that we discussed about commit, rollback, right now, defer queue. What is a defer queue? Yes. After clipboard, data will store into a storage place called defer queue. When a commit is being performed, data will be taken from defer queue into the physical table permanently. Okay. So after a commit is being performed, will there be any items further in the defer queue? When a commit is being performed, there won't be anything in the defer queue further. Correct? And what is the difference between write now and commit?
Right now we'll do immediate save commit.
Perform an immediate commit operation that is specific to only one OBJ. Whereas commit method is used to perform commit of entire defer queue. Okay. What is the rollback and OBJ save cancel? Rollback is used to
recent changes will be rollback if you do rollback cancel.
uncommit. Okay, erase the data, revert back the changes which are uncommitted. Okay, and everything entire defer queue will be reverted back. And whereas OBJ save cancel is going to roll back only the latest uncommitted OBJ save operation that has been done. Understand? Okay. So data page also we have seen, right? Okay. నేను ఎవరు చెప్పలేదంట కదా నిన్న గ్రూప్స్ పెట్టినప్పుడు డిస్కషన్ ఏమో నేను చూసి ఆ వీడియో నాకు నచ్చలేదు అంటే మీ యువర్ వే ఆఫ్ డెలివరీ అర్థమైందా మీకు మీరు కూడా చూసుకోండి మీకే అర్థమైంది the way how you are delivering the subject it is you are not fluent okay మేము అదేం అప్లోడ్ చేయాలి ఆ వీడియో అప్లోడ్ చేయం అప్లోడ్ చేస్తే మాకే ప్రాబ్లం అవుతుంది when you are delivery everything is good then we can upload okay I think Monday once again we have that discussion right okay devaympl@sbi.com that has happened in the offline not online okay okay next so next we are going to discuss about OBJ open and before we proceed to OBJ open I told you that we are going to discuss about primary page so we are going to discuss about the important topic called primary page this is very important okay primary page here you go now see I'm going to go through the tracer and choose different options related to tracing. I want to trace flow, then I need to choose flow also here. I want to trace activity, I have to choose activities. When rules means when rules, data transform like that. Did we work on data transform? No, right? So create vehicle insurance and flow should have been executed. The flow should have been you can see flow start, some flow has got executed. You can see here the flow execution has begun and at the beginning you see the step page is being shown as py work page. What is step page? Py work page. Throughout this it is py work page. Now I'm going to do what? I'm going to clear this and I'm going to execute an activity standalone. I'm going to execute an activity standalone, any activity that can be actions and then run this and you can see here on the tracer. So execution of activity began, but the page that is being shown here is different from the previous one. What is the page being shown up here? If you are not able to read it, let me just copy this and paste here on the screen notepad. Run record primary page. That is the page name that you have got. You did not give it. In case of when you execute a case type or flow, the first page on which the execution of flow began is py work page. In case when you execute the activity standalone, the page on which the execution has begun is run record primary page. These are thumb rules. See for every rule in Pega to start its execution, PRPC must need a page. There is a page that must be needed in order for a rule to get executed. A rule you have executed, this rule should run, right? In order for this rule to run, definitely the system needs a page. That is the design of Pega. The page on which a rule execution begins, that page is said to be, what is that? Primary page. That page is said to be primary page. You understand what is primary page? Primary page is the page on which a rule execution begins. Okay, for every rule in Pega to get executed, it must need a primary page. Understand everyone clear? Now I will tell you about more about primary page, and step page also I'll explain. See here, this is child activity. I started executing this activity. Activity execution began on which page? Primary page. That is run record primary page. Instead of saying run record primary page, instead of saying py work page, either py work page or run record primary page, both are which pages? Primary page. You can use primary keyword. You can use primary keyword. Look at here. See, I'm going to add a step. Click the down arrow. Primary is there. I did not define anything by primary here, but automatically are you getting primary or not? Primary here stands for run record primary page. When I execute this activity, standalone. Within the flow, anywhere if you define primary, that stands for py work page. That stands for py work. An activity which is standalone executed, primary stands for run record primary page. A flow when it is executed, primary stands for py work page. So primary is the keyword. At runtime, this primary may be py work page, this primary may be run record primary page, this primary may be something else. It can be anything based on, I'll tell you, based on actually source. Now here, if I mention primary or I don't mention anything primary, I don't mention anything primary here, I'm going to do a property set. Property set, expand this. One property I'm setting, some property I'm setting with a value. Okay, save this, execute it, run this. Tracing should have happened. See here, the step where I have done property set, this particular step, you can see here, I did not choose any page name. I left it blank, you remember? If I do not choose any page name, if I left it blank, what is the page that is being occupied? Run record primary page. Simply saying primary page has occupied that space. Okay, if you are leaving a step blank, empty, that empty will be filled at runtime by which page? Run record and
primary page.
Primary page. So this will be occupied by primary page. In this case, primary is equal to run record. Similarly, somewhere in the flow, I did not mention the page name. Okay, then that will be occupied by primary. That primary is py1 for the main flow, starting flow and all. Make sense? Next, see, there is a concept called step page, primary page. It is very simple. You understand what is primary page? Primary page is the page on which a rule execution begins. Throughout the rule execution, that is the primary page. For a flow, as a thumb rule, primary page is all for a flow which creating work object. What is the thumb rule of primary page? Py work page. For an activity which is standalone executed, what is the primary page? Run record primary page. In an activity or anywhere, if you leave the page name empty, then that will be occupied by primary. Don't say what is the name of the page. That will be occupied by primary page. Based on the context, that will become some page name. Step page is there. Step page is specifically the page on which you are mentioning at the respective step. See here, for example, parent page. What is the step page for first step? Child page. What is the step page for second step? What is the step page for third step? What is the step page for fourth step? Primary. What is the overall primary page for this rule? Primary only. Primary only. That can be unrecorded primary page when you standalone execute. Understand? Step page is the page on which step page is the page which you specifically mention at a respective step. Step page can be different for each step, but primary page will be same for entire rule. Understand everyone clear? Okay, look at here now. See how you understand the rule related primary page. Okay, just I'll tell you by notepad so that it will make better sense. Imagine I have an activity by name activity 1. Within activity, I have a number of steps, right? I want to call an activity from another activity. I can use either call or branch or queue, anything. I'm going to show you by call. Okay, call activity 2. At the time of calling, you have a choice of mentioning the step page, right? Call some other activity. Okay, maybe not circular reference. This one here, you can mention a page or you leave it blank. That's up to you. Okay, depends actually. You need more knowledge to understand that. But here, blank means I did not mention any page name. Okay, suppose if I write some page name, then that is the page. Now, activity 2. Activity 2 is calling activity 3 at the time of calling blank. Activity 4, activity 3 is calling what? Activity 4, the time of calling blank. Activity 4 is calling activity 5 at the time of calling. Now, standalone. I started executing activity 1 as part of invoking activity 1. It will call activity 2, which will call activity 3, 4. All activities will get executed. At the time of calling, I did not mention any page name in the step page. I just left it blank. If I run the activity 1 standalone, you know, right? Standalone means run record, primary page will be the primary page. For activity 1, the primary page when you execute it standalone is equal to run record primary page. Anyone has any doubt about this? Online also. Anyone has any doubt about this?
No.
No, right? Okay. Now, what about activity 2 execution will begin, right? When it calls, activity 2 also should run on some page. At the time of calling, I did not mention any page name. So when you do not mention a page name at the time of calling any rule, not only activity, because activities you understand easily, I'm just telling. So the primary page of that particular rule will be the primary page of the calling rule. So now, if I leave it blank here, what will be occupied? I told you just now. It will be occupied by primary. What is the primary page for activity 2 here? By name. By name, what is the primary page in this context? Run record primary page. What about activity 4, 5? For all the activities, primary page is run record primary page.
Primary.
Now look at here. At the time of calling activity 3, I mentioned page 3 specifically. I mentioned page 3. Now for activity 1 standalone executed, primary page is run record primary page. Activity 1 is calling activity 2. At the time of calling, I did not specify any page name. The activity 2 primary page is the primary page of its calling rule. So what is that? Run record primary page. But coming to activity 3 calling place, activity 3 is called from activity 2. But at the time of calling, I am specifically mentioning a page name, page 3. Then the page on which activity 3 runs is page 3. Then primary page for activity 3 is what? Page 3. Everyone clear this point? How do you know the primary page of a rule? At the time of calling rule, you are specifically mentioning a page name. That is the primary page for that rule. At the time of calling, you did not mention any page name. Its calling rule primary page will be the primary page for the current rule. Understand? Make sense? All of you online. Make sense?
Yeah, yes, clear.
I am not on mute for your information.
So in this case, for activity 4, it will become page 3, right?
I'll talk about further. Hold on. See, for activity 3, in activity 3, I'm calling activity 4. At the time of calling activity 4, I left it blank. Then what is the primary page of activity 4? Page 3. What is the primary page of activity 5? Page 3. Page 3 only. Understand, everyone? Now I'm changing it to page 5. You tell me now. Primary page for activity 1. Run record primary page. Primary page for activity 2. Run record primary page. Primary page for activity 3. Page 3. Primary page for activity 4. Page 3.
Page 3.
Primary page for activity 5. Page 5. That's how you'll understand. If you want to know, you have to traverse back in the design. Without design, how do you know? Without traversing back in the design, what is the other easiest way to find out the primary page for each rule? Tracer. If you go through tracer, you can easily see why you need to traverse back in the design. Execute first rule and trace everything. Every rule beginning, you see what is the primary page, you'll understand. Understand, everyone clear? So that is what the meaning of primary page. Everyone clear? So for every rule to get executed, there is a page must needed. That is called primary page. Okay. So let's go ahead now and look at more about primary. So anywhere in my programming in the sense, wherever it is. Maybe it is in activity or data transform or UI anywhere. If I use the keyword primary, that may be PY work page, that may be run record primary page, that may be something else. Let me tell you another one for your information. Don't much bother about it. Portal I have opened, right? This is called portal. I did not tell you about portals. You will be learning. This entire screen to be loaded, it uses one primary page for your information. Primary page for work object is always PY work page. That is a beginning flow. Primary page for activity standalone is always PY work page. Primary page for portal is PY display harness. This is there in the document for your information. Okay, next one. I will write down here some other this one. Activity 1 is being called from a flow. Flow 1 is a one which is creating work object. Understand? Activity 1 is being called from flow 1. So flow 1 is calling activity 1. Activity 1 calling 2, calling 3, calling 4, calling 5. Remaining definition same. I have executed flow. When I execute flow, what is the this is the starting flow which creates work object. Thumb rule I told you. What is the primary page for the flow which is starting flow creating work object? PY work page. That you are clear. Now flow 1 is calling activity 1. At the time of calling activity 1 in flow 1, I did not mention any page. Then what is the primary page for activity 1? PY
page.
One is calling activity 2 blank time of calling. PY work page. Primary page for activity 3 page 3. Primary for activity 4 page 3. Primary page for activity 5
Page 5.
Understand everyone here? This is how primary page. Now I will draw something else which we have already done. Data page, you know, data page by name D page 1. Okay, and data page is okay. I'll come from flow level onwards. Flow is calling, flow action is calling, section is calling, control is also a rule under UI category. We will use OOTP controls. That's it. Control is calling data page. Data page is calling, let's say activity. Activity is not calling further anything. At the time of calling all of these rules, I did not mention any page name while calling. Okay, so this is data page by name D page 1. What is the name? Understand everyone clear? At the time of calling one rule from another rule, nowhere I have specifically mentioned any pages. Okay, now everything is blank. Flow is the beginning flow, which is creating work object and initializing transaction. What is the primary page of flow? PY work
page.
Now flow action is called in flow. At the time of calling, I did not mention any page. There is a facility. There's no facility anyhow. What is the primary page for flow action rule? Page. While calling section in flow action, there is a facility to choose a page, but I did not choose anything. Okay. For this section, what is the primary page? For this control, what is the primary page? Pure page. All right, everyone following?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
And for the data page, what is the primary page?
Data page.
Same.
PY.
For data page, it is an exceptional case. Data page itself is primary page for data page because that itself is a page. Understand? So even though you are calling data page on control, by at the time of calling, you are mentioning a page. What is the page? Data page only. For a data page, what is the primary page? Data page itself. Inside data page, I called activity. What is the primary page of activity? Data page. Anything that you call inside data page, primary page will be data page. For every data page, primary page is itself. Understand? Wherever you call it. Understand everyone clear? Because why? Data page itself is a page. Thumb rules are standalone activity primary page is run record primary page. Flow primary page, which is a creating work object, is PY work page. Portal primary page is PY display harness. Data page primary page and inside data page rules primary page is data page itself. This is what primary page. What is the importance or the purpose of primary page in Pega? Again, this is similar to what we have discussed yesterday. Okay, I'll tell you now what is the importance of primary page. See, instead of using primary keyword, I can use PY work page, I can use run record primary page, I can use data page like this also, right? Data page by its name or run record primary page, PY display harness. Okay, imagine I have created one activity. Let me go to Paint and explain you. Listen to me carefully, every one of you. Okay, so this is rule 1. Let me make it big. rule 1. Okay, imagine this is activity only. This is activity. Okay, and there are two other rules, rule 1 and rule 2. These are two different rules. See, at the time of writing my activity, this is the activity, right? Activity 1. Inside this, I have property set. Okay, and inside this property set, I can write page 1 dot. Okay, otherwise, py work page dot first name is equal to some value. Harsha, right? Okay, this is the value I have given, and this is the present activity. Okay, now there is another step. Okay, another step, properties set again. In this step, I'm writing primary dot first name is equal to Harsha. Okay, like this I have given. Okay, this is the name I have given. Now this activity I am calling from, one is flow, another one is portal related button click. The portal button click I am calling. What is the primary page for portal? Py display harness. And what is the primary page here, which is a starting flow? Py. Understand? Now this activity, this particular activity I am calling here. So from the flow rule, I'm using utility and call activity 1. And here also on click of a button, I'm calling activity 1. Now look at here. I'm going to call both rules. From both rules, same activity I wanted to call. Now when this activity is executed, calling it from flow. Okay, calling it from flow. The first step you see, calling from flow, it will not throw any error. Okay, calling it from flow instead of writing like this, because what is the reason? Py work page is there. But look at here, calling the activity from portal button click, same activity. First step fails with error. What is error? Undefined page py work page. Because is there any py work page in this situation? So as a result of this, this is not a generic activity. Sorry, this is not a generic activity. This is not a generic activity, for your information. Understand? This activity will work only when there is a py work page. Otherwise, it won't function. But I need the same logic from different sources. It looks similar to parametric concept, but it is not parametric concept. This is global concept. Parametric concept is passing the data, having different sources, you will pass additionally. Here I'm not passing, but globally I'm accessing common generic for again different sources. It is being generic for different sources. Leave about parameters completely. Okay, now this activity is not a generic activity. Why it is not? Because you are specifically mentioning py work page. It works only when there is py work page. Otherwise, it won't function properly. Let me save this document. Primary page 1. Okay, how do I make it generic activity? So this step, there won't be any issue with second step, right? Here in this case, no issue at second step. Here also no issue at second step. Second step will not fail because second step you are using primary. Suppose if I modify this, okay, here you go. I'm going to use this primary dot. If I use primary dot first name, okay, both maybe I can use it like last name for our better understanding. Okay, clear everyone? So this is the another diagram. File, save as. I'm sorry, that got overridden, right? Save. Two. Primary page 2. Okay. Now this one, in this case, second step or first step, anything is going to fail?
No.
No.
First step, is it going to fail? First step also will not fail. Okay, but main thing here is now at runtime, when it is called from flow, primary is equal to py work page. Similarly, let me max it. At runtime, when it is called from flow, primary is equal to py work page. Activity runs smooth, there is no issue. At runtime, when it is called from portal button, primary is equal to py display
Curtis.
args. Make sense, everyone? Clear? So this is how it is going to be. I'll save the final version. Okay, make sense, everyone? Clear? 2. So this is how one activity, generic logic is actually not generic pages. So primary is kind of generic page, okay, for different sources. Understand, everyone? Clear? That is the advantage of using primary keyword at runtime. Because today you are writing one activity and you hard code py workspace, what could be the problem? It will work only when there is a work object py workspace, otherwise it won't function. At the execution time, if you want to use the same logic again from a different source, it will fail. So I don't want that. I want primary to be used. And this is the advantage of the primary keyword, using primary page. Everyone online clear? Every one of you?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Hi, Harsh.
Yes, please.
So
Yes,
these many days, yeah, am I audible?
you are audible.
Yeah, so these many days, while in activity or anywhere, I mean in any other rule, we are
Anywhere.
using dot first name. So the
Dot
dot
first
indicates
name is also primary dot.
Okay.
Dot first name
Okay.
is also primary
Okay.
dot first name. You are not specifically mentioning it, but you are going to, it is going to take it automatically.
So internally it is taking primary only.
Primary. Yes, correct. Next.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Next, any other questions? That's it. Okay. But not every time. Look at here. I'll tell you, there is a slight difference. Look at here. See, here I'm going to add a step. Okay. Property set. I'll remove this page, remove here. Okay. This is also. Okay. I'll leave it. And one more property set. Okay. Child page. And this is nothing. I left it blank. Okay. State code like this. And here in this property set, you see, in this property set, so dot some value, manager dot some value. Okay. Now you see here, dot state code here is parent page dot state code. Dot manager dot ln here is child page dot manager dot ln. Understand? But coming back to this one, third one, dot first name here. What is this one? Primary dot first name. This is primary dot first name. First one is inside that dot means step page something is mentioned. Step page dot. Second one inside you mention some property dot. That is step page dot. Parent page dot first name. Okay, or whatever it is. Parent page dot property. Child page dot property. But in the third context, primary dot property. It is not always primary, but mainly in the regular processing, if you're not mentioning any page name, that will become primary. That's what I told already. Understand? It is clear now? The resource.
Yes, sir, it is clear now.
What if we call activity the pure page from data page? You cannot do that. From a data page, if you're calling, there is no way you can mention any other page. It will be called from data page only. Okay. This is about primary page concept we would be using going forward. Okay. Next topic that we are going to discuss about is obj open. Obj open. So obj open method is used to fetch single record from the table. It is used to fetch single record from the table. So from a given table, I want to retrieve one record. So how do you identify each record uniquely in the context of obj open? You need to use class key. Class key is defined in the class rule form. A class key for work class is PYID. A class key for countries class, country code. A class key for states class. A class key for cities class. A class key for any other class. If you open the class rule form, go to keys, it is there, it will be. If it is not there, no key is there. No key will be there when there is no table dedicated. We have claims class created. Personal vehicle claims. Is there any dedicated table? If you open the classes and go and see keys, there won't be anything. Those do not have any dedicated table. Countries, country code. Customer table, customer class. What is the class key? Customer ID. If you want to retrieve single record from table using class key, the method that can be used is obj open method. Obj open method is used to fetch single record from the table by using class key. Only one record you are fetching onto clipboard. Then which one you need? Single value property, page or page list? Which one? One record, one entire row you are retrieving. Entire row means
Page.
ఒక row లో ఎన్ని values ఉంటాయి? How many values can be? Is it only one value? Multiple values, multiple columns will be there, right? For single row. So which one you are going to use?
Page.
Page. So page you are going to use. Okay, obj open. You are opening it. Opening means editable or read only?
Editable.
Open చేశారు అనుకోండి, editable or read only?
Editable.
Read only.
Editable.
Editable.
Opening
Read only.
opening a classroom. Can you edit inside or not? I have opened
No.
this classroom. Will you be able to edit the things available here? You're able to edit, right? Edit open is editable or read only? Editable. Obj open you are going to use
Editable.
in two situations. One is you wanted to get single record of data and directly use it without editing. Another case is you wanted to retrieve single record data plus edit it. Even if you are not editing one record, if you want to retrieve by key property, then you go for open. Okay, you may or may not edit, depends on. Okay, so that is just basic details about obj open. I'll tell you the template of obj open. Look at here. If I want to retrieve the data of single record from a table, for example, customer table, template is first whatever the target table from which you wanted to retrieve the data, define a page for the target table. Okay, SBI data, what is that? Understand? Next, what do I need to do? Page new. Make sure you have now an empty page you have created, which is referring to the same target table class from which you wanted to retrieve the data. Done. Now I have to retrieve the data, right? So in order to retrieve the data, I need to use obj open. Someone please mute. There is a lot of noise coming from this person. I don't know who is it. Vamsi Krishna. Please mute always. Sometimes we are not realizing that. So now it will open one single record from the table. Retrieved data will be placed on temp page by using class key. What is the class? Again, you need to mention. What is the class? Customer class based on, let's say, first name, some value, save it, error. What does it say? You should be fetching the record by using key. Customer ID is the key which must be used. So whenever you are using this one, you should be using only class key. There can be more than one key possible, and obj open after. Remaining steps is up to you. Maybe after you retrieve the data to clipboard, what else you wanted to do? Depends on your business requirement, you do it. But understanding Pega is very, very important. After you retrieve to clipboard, if you want to assign into UI, what should I do? UI, I wanted to assign it to UI. So taking the property set from temp page dot property to UI, you might have used some property, some page will be there, right? Onto that page you need to assign. Okay, so it is always that you should know about the design and the clipboard. Design only clipboard is the one which is going to like make you to do your development in a better way. Okay, if you do not understand clipboard, not even a better way, make you to do the development. If you don't know clipboard for something, you cannot do anything. Okay, so for user interface, what is the clipboard? You know, take the data from table and to temporary page, put it on user interface related page. It will reflect into UI. Understand everyone clear? So let's go ahead and work on this now, and we will straightforward work on a business requirement. Requirement is we would like to create a form. Okay, I'd like to create a form where I would like to assign the data into the. Okay, I would like to assign the data into the form. Okay, by retrieving the data from a table, only one record. Okay, one record I wanted to fetch. So you have vehicle detail screen where you are capturing the vehicle data, right? See, vehicle may have some previous losses information. Vehicle may have losses information. Vehicle might have some damages. Some of the things will be there. This is going to be list, I think. Okay, just give me 1 minute. Just hold on a while. Other than loss information, what is the requirement I can do? Search will perform a search. Okay, will perform a search. Search based on what are the screens I have so far? Customer details screen, vehicle information screen, right? Search and retrieve customer data. So we'll do customer search. Okay, write down everyone. But we can even do this. Personal vehicle screen is there, right? For entering your vehicle data. Instead of entering your vehicle data, we'll retrieve the data from it. We'll do this. Personal vehicle screen, we have vehicle identification number, vehicle company, manufacturing year, model. Correct? This is the information which we have. So see, usually when you enter vehicle identification number, you may retrieve the data from a table, right? What is the company, manufacturing company, all that you can. Usually it is a service call, later we'll redesign. So we'll retrieve the data from the table based on vehicle ID. Vehicle details will retrieve. Data is there present in the table for a given vehicle ID. It will retrieve. Data is not there, then it will retrieve and display. Data is not present in the table, then you have to display a message. The respective vehicle identification number is not found in the database, like this. You can implement vehicle search, or you can implement customer search, or you can implement any search. Anywhere you want to fetch some details based on some ID value. It is charging button much red color charger. Okay, so either we can implement vehicle information or either we can implement customer search. Anything is okay. Okay, let's work out this one. Working with obj open. Write down everyone. Working with obj open method. That is the obj open method. Okay, we'll implement. I'm trying for a new screen. Write down. Create a new screen. Create a new screen. driver information. Create a new screen. Driver information. That is a new screen. Driver information screen will come under user details or vehicle details. Where it will come under? Driver
Vehicle.
information.
Vehicle
Vehicle.
details.
Yeah, whoever is the vehicle owner, if he is the driver, it will come under user information only. But otherwise, we'll create a separate screen. Maybe driver related data. May not be sometimes. Okay, driver information separate stage. So create a new screen for driver information and put this in a new stage. Put this in a new stage called driver details. Let's add a new stage, driver details, which comes after after or before vehicle. Which place is better? Before
After.
vehicle or after? Before vehicle.
After vehicle.
Okay, after vehicle. Right now, after vehicle. Which comes after vehicle information. Vehicle information you enter, then vehicle driver information. Okay. Owner may not be the driver always, correct? We will create a driver's information in future where it is commercial vehicle means multiple drivers will be there, right? Usually. Okay. So what are the details here? License number ఏముంటుంది driver కి license కదా. License number is the key. License number, comma. What are the other details? Experience. Okay. Driver name. Next property. License number, comma. Driver name. Driver age. We want driver age also. Based on that, we will decide. Driver age ఇంకేముంటాయి?
License expiry.
Driving license expiry.
License
Issue date and expiry date.
License type. License type. You write down license type. Or maybe personal license or commercial. అలాగా. Okay, two-wheeler, four-wheeler, like that. Okay. License type. What else can be there?
License issue date. License issue date.
Come
Expiry.
again. Issue date.
Yeah.
Issue date. Issue date. Expiry date.
Right. License batch number.
License issue date. License expiry date. License number itself can be a batch number. Okay. These are the details. Okay. Some details we have, and we wanted to collect this data. So in this screen, we should not be entering the driver details. Okay. When you enter the license number of the driver, all the details, his name, his age, the license type that he is holding, all that should be auto populated. Okay. Retrieving the data from a table. What did you write? Create a new screen, driver information, where you have driver ID, all this, right? So write down next. Create a data type. Create a data type by name. Driver license. What is the table name? Driver license. Instead of mentioning only driver, only license, driver license is the table. Okay. That is the table. Columns and properties. These are the same. Above are the columns. Right? Above are the columns. Okay. Next point. When business user enters a license number of the driver, when business user enters license number of the driver, when business user enters license number of the driver, comma, when click on search button, when click on search button, what should happen? The driver information should be displayed in the below screen. Okay, not below screen. Driver information should be populated or displayed, you can say. Driver information should be populated or displayed. Anything is okay. This data should be retrieved from driver license table. This data should be retrieved from where? Driver license table. See, we will not be able to finish this today. It will take time. And one more thing is, while we are going to work on this business requirement, we are going to see embedding a section into another section. We are going to see embedding sections into another section. So today we will finish creating data type. Do you have a practical document for today?
Not it.
No, sir.
So far I don't have any. Working with creating a new, actually that is a creating new search screen. That is search screen. Okay. Driver information based on license. Delta 595. 95. Oh, last batch. I mean, next in the batch. 595. August 5th, right? Okay, working with creating a new search screen, driver information based on license number. Let's create data type. I'll take 2 more minutes. Please hold on this question. I don't know how many times. If you are unmuted, make sure you are going to mute back because that will disturb others a lot. Okay, create data type. What is the design? Okay, I'm going to write the design algorithm for this. See, I'm going to follow this process. Create data type first. Okay, so data type, if you create, you will get data class, properties, everything with storage and all. Okay, add 1 or more records. 1 or more records. With this, you have data type. Next, data class, properties, everything are there. Next, create a page. Okay, what is the page name? Driver info. Okay, next, what is the next one? Create 3 sections. Create 3 sections. Okay, one is license number section. Second one is driver info section. Third one is a parent section which holds sections 1 and 2. Okay, after this, create an activity using obj open to fetch driver details from driver license table using license number. Data retrieved, you have to assign it to UI, right? So now assign the result back to UI related page. So here, when you are creating 3 sections, you have created a page. Okay, this is what we are going to do, and the extension of this requirement will be there. This is only half of the requirement, whatever I do. Next half requirement is going to be like, suppose driver information is found, you display the data in read only. Driver information is not found, then you display that you don't display it at all. Below, you display a message saying that license number not found, please enter a valid license number, like that. Everyone understand? Clear? And license number, we can do one thing. License number, shall we do this instead of a text input? Shall we use it as a autocomplete? You want not drop down, right? Driver info. After this, create a report to retrieve license. Otherwise, going forward, we have another screen. There I will create autocomplete. This is fair enough to go with text input as of now. Okay, so this is what I am going to do. First, I am going to create data type. Okay, design creating data type. You don't know so far how to embed sections into another sections. Do you know this? We have done it.
Embedding section, yes, sir, we did.
Is it done?
We have done once.
Yeah, while doing
Embedding
end
section
rule,
into another
we did.
Then it's well and good. Again, we are going to do the same here.
What is autocomplete, sir?
Autocomplete we will use going forward. Autocomplete exactly same as drop down. Every configuration, one parameter will be there. How many characters you want to match? Autocomplete means it is like a drop down. Okay, but it doesn't look like that. It is a drop down. When you type 2 characters, matching list of values will be shown up. You don't need to wait for me. You can practice now itself. You know drop down how to populate. Same knowledge. One additional parameter is how many characters, which is the search column. That's it. If you configure it, you'll understand easily. Okay, let me create a data type now. This is data type, and here you go now. And the name of the data type is driver's license. Okay, this is the table, and as usual process I am following. Data, that's it, data, and here I am creating everything at the top level and submit this. And what are the columns? First one, first column is license ID or license number. License number and text property, because it is a combination of, it can be combination of text plus integer. Combination of text plus integer is text only. Okay, and what is the next one? I'll come in a reverse order. Tell me. Driver name later. Expiry date. License expiry date. So license expiry date is date only, correct? Where is it? Date only. License expiry date is date only. I'll just first give a screenshot and then go here. So license issue date. Issue date, that is also date only. Date only. What else next? License type. License type. You can have a drop down here also. This is possible. In this one also you can have a drop down pick list, and you can choose different license type and all. Local list. There is no by default single. By default, even only license type. Two-wheeler. Two-wheeler. Three-wheeler కూడా అర్థం ఎందుకు? Four-wheeler. ఇంకా పర్వాలేదండి, మీరు రాసుకోండి. హెవీ వెహికల్స్. ఓకే, here you go now. Submit. What else is there? Driver age, integer. Driver age, integer. Where is it? Integer. What else? Driver name. Driver. See, we don't need to create a property for driver name. Do you have first name, last name property? In framework work class will not be coming here. I should have created an organization. Okay, driver name. So that's why you need to create in the appropriate classes when you are creating properties. Otherwise you are recreating once again. This is not a best practice. Submit this. These are the columns which are records tab. You know that configure source and all. And license number is the one which is a key property. Submit. Okay, close this. So license name, add record. So some license number I am going to add here. L3 is okay. L1234. Okay, driver name. Okay, driver age, license type, two-wheeler, license issue date. You can choose some date here. Okay, should be past date actually. Okay, license expiry date. How do you make sure that these are past date and future date? While selection, it should not allow. Go to property. Did you work on validations? Project purpose. Okay, we'll be working on validations going forward. Okay, L1235. Okay, what is the other name? Okay, and 23 four-wheeler, and here you go, license expiry date. Okay, so like this you can add n number of records, save. Maybe one screenshot I was missing. Okay, so this is how you have created a data type at run. So when this license number is entered in UI, and you will be placing one custom button. When you click on search button, the data should be retrieved from here and loaded in the UI. We don't need to manually enter all the data. Usually these details will be there with RTO department. In future, we will make changes here to retrieve the data from external sources. Okay, that is what integrations concept. Okay, that's it. It is 10 o'clock. We will create screen and all in the next class on Monday. And tomorrow 9 o'clock there will be a session that is going to be conducted, a motivation session. I am not sure whether I am going to conduct it online or not. I will tell you about it. But offline, how many of you wanted to attend? Offline. Okay, these many resources wanted to attend, right? See, I have some of the like the topics in my mind to talk about, but I would request you guys to write down what you want. Okay, what do you wanted to hear from me related to while this motivation session, okay, is happening? So on which topic you wanted to talk to me? If you can come up with that, so I can filter accordingly. I can take multiple different topics like that. Okay, so I'm not sure whether I'll be conducting it online or not for this time, for the first time. Okay, offline is confirmed. You can come down here directly, and I will tell you by afternoon whether I conduct online or not. Okay, next week I will arrange online. If I'm missing this week, I will arrange. Data type after configuring the column, submit. Then if you wanted to remove some columns, see, if you want to remove the columns from the data type, how would you remove? Edit option is there, I shown you, right? That is what for adding, that is also for deleting. Okay, let me share the document. Yeah, you can wind up for today. We will continue on Monday for our PRPC sessions, and tomorrow 9 o'clock would be this session. Okay, 9 or 9:30, I will send you a message.
Try
Fine,
online also.
I will try and tell you by today afternoon. This mail ID, I don't know why, how many times.
What is the primary page for data page? What is the primary page?
August 5th, 5/9. What are the documents to be attached? Practical document, anyhow, data type document. Fine, data classes, practical, fine, fine. Where is August 5th, August? Theory, what should I attach?
OBJ.
Primary page, OBJ
Open.
open.
OBJ open. Diagram 7-9. Primary page. Primary page.
Page 1 and 2.
And diagrams. Two diagrams. Anything else? That's it, right? Okay, so Meru, okay, we can wind up for today. Online resource can come to tomorrow. If you are attending online, you can come down, no problem. Those who are connecting online, if they wanted to come down to classroom for tomorrow's session, they can come down, no problem. It is in Hyderabad.